All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is November 15th, 2020. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being held in Albany and also remotely. We have joining us by phone Chairman Bradley.
Yes, I'm here.
We have Commissioners Fan and Ford joining us by video. Staff in attendance, we have General Counsel Meyerhoff by video. We have Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts by telephone.
I'm here, thanks.
And myself, Secretary Donahue, in the Authority's Albany offices. We have two items on today's calendar. We have both requests from Counsel's Office for emergency summary orders of suspension. First item is 1628M. It's King's OP 1317182, Bay Ridge Hospitality Group, LLC.
Good afternoon, members. This is Kayla O'Donnell on behalf of Counsel's Office. Last night, SLA investigators visited the licensed premises, doing business as Baki Restauranti. And as the report and photos in the record before you depict, they found it to be very crowded at nearly full capacity. Despite the maximum occupancy being 107 and the licensee being limited to operating at 25% capacity in the New York City yellow zone, investigators counted 87 people inside the restaurant. That's 60 more patrons inside than what they are allowed to have. They should have only been at 27 patrons or less inside. Further, there were numerous tables set up less than 6 feet apart. The licensee's sole principal was present while these violations were committed. Clearly, he knew that the violations were being committed, as there's a big difference between a restaurant at 25% capacity and a restaurant that's completely packed with patrons at nearly 100% capacity. Notably, this is this particular licensee's third strike. On June 30th of this year, when only outside dining was permitted in Brooklyn, there were 25 people observed dining inside the premises, while the licensee's sole principal was again present. Furthermore, there were several employees not wearing face coverings on that date. The full board countered the licensee's C&C plea, and the licensees accepted the $2,000 counteroffer in that case. The second strike occurred on August 14th of this year, when 6 unmasked patrons were observed standing, waiting in line outside, not social distancing. 2 of the patrons standing out front, not wearing masks, were consuming beverages. The licensee's sole principal was again present when these violations were being committed. That case is currently pending, and the licensee has pled not guilty. The licensee, and clearly its sole principal, who has been present at each time violations were found, has shown a disregard of the governor's executive orders, which were designed to prevent further spread of COVID-19. By allowing the restaurant to be so crowded, the licensee has endangered the health, safety, and welfare of all 87 patrons, their coworkers and families, the licensee's employees and their families, and the community as a whole. In consideration of them, an emergency order of summary suspension is required. Thank you.
Kayla, you said they're in the yellow zone?
Yes.
Oh, there's also a limitation of 4 persons per table in a yellow zone. And it looks like they, from the pictures at least, may have several tables that have more than 4 people in.
You're correct. So that is the case. And if you look at the photos and record before you, there are several tables with 6 people at those tables. So that's a violation that they committed as well. They are being charged with that. Thank you.
Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you, Kayla.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Yes, Kayla, when did you say, or did you say when they were licensed?
They were just given a liquor license in July of last year.
So July 2019, okay. At 6:30, you said that they had 25 inside when only outside was permitted, employees without face masks. There was a penalty assessed by the full board of how much?
$2,000.
They have no other adverse history other than that?
Nothing prior to June 30th.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Chairman Bradley, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
I'm going to call then for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on the evidence presented by Council O'Donnell, it's clear that this location in imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I therefore vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
Yes, based on evidence provided by council, I vote to summarily suspend this license as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
Based on the submission and council's presentation, I vote to summarily suspend. It's clear this licensee is a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare.
All right, the next item I have is 1628N, New York L 1246967. Licensee is E/J's Liquors, Inc.
Good afternoon, Stephen Armstrong on behalf of Council's Office in support of the summary suspension of this licensee located at 1621 St. Nicholas Avenue in Upper Manhattan. This is an L-class license with a method of operation as a liquor store. License was first issued in October of 2010. Now, turning to the conduct at issue here, yesterday, November 14th, beginning at approximately 10:55 p.m., SLA investigator Charles Travali and officers from the NYPD COVID task force conducted an inspection of the licensed premises after observing that the premises appeared to be open and operating after the mandatory 10 p.m. closing time. Upon entering, investigators observed 12 people still inside the premises, all without proper facial coverings. There was loud music playing. 2 patrons were observed eating food while sitting on chairs that had been set up next to a makeshift table. Several additional patrons were standing near these seated patrons. 3 of these patrons were observed holding plastic cups, which the investigator confirmed contained alcohol. An open bottle of whiskey was observed on ice inside a cooler in the rear of the premises. During the inspection, investigators observed 3 employees not wearing masks while standing behind the counter, a clear violation of Governor's Executive Order 202.16. There are photos attached to the report that illustrate all of these violations. One of the employees at the premises called the licensee. The licensee's husband arrived at the store shortly after. He claimed that they were unaware of the 10 p.m. closing time. And at that time, which by that point approximately 11:30 p.m., they did close the store. This conduct was a clear violation of Governor's Executive Order 202.74, which went into effect on Friday and requires off-premises licensees to close at 10 p.m. While this is a relatively new executive order, it has been highly publicized, and there's no way that a responsible licensee should have been unaware of this 10 p.m. closing time. And beyond that, the conduct here, patrons seated in chairs, socializing while consuming alcohol from plastic cups, is not permitted for off-premises licensees, even during normal times, much less when we are struggling to contain the spread of a deadly virus. It's clear from this record that this licensee cannot be trusted to take the steps necessary to enforce the governor's executive orders, which were issued to protect the public from the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And based on this record, I ask that the members vote to summarily suspend this license pursuant to Section 413 of the State Administrative Procedure Act. Thank you.
With that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you, Stephen.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right, with that, I'll call for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
Based on the evidence provided by Council Armstrong, this liquor store has become an imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford, your vote, please.
This licensee is clearly operating outside the limits of their license and requirements of it. So I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to summarily suspend this license based on the presentation by council. It's clear it's become a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare.
All right, Chairman, I have nothing else on today's calendar. Do you have anything?
No, nothing else. Thank you for all your work on Sunday.
All right, with that, this meeting is concluded. Thank you.
Bye.